Hi, Joe. Have you spoken to Trump since the attack and this weekend? And
I talked to him after the attack, but I haven't spoken to him since the ceasefire.
You haven't?
I told him it was a very bold, brilliant operation. I thought it was necessary, and most importantly, I thought it was effective.
He said that the nuclear program was obliterated. From what you understand, has this been totally obliterated?
I think the enrichment sites have been destroyed. There are probably no operational centrifuges. But the real question is, I think it's been substantially degraded. These sites probably have been obliterated, but the desire to make a weapon and use it against Israel hasn't changed. So that's what we need to remember. A ceasefire that leads to peace is a wonderful thing. A ceasefire that allows Iran to rearm and come back another day is a step backward. So what I'm looking for is a statement by the Iranians. Not only they want a ceasefire, but they recognize Israel's right to exist. Until you have that moment, nothing really is going to change. We've made it harder for Iran to enact their religious agenda against Israel, but they haven't changed their desire.
Wait, if they don't give you that kind of statement?
Then it tells you all you need to know. And really, what am I talking about? People have disputes all over the world. I'm not asking Iran to abandon its grievances against Israel. I'm asking Iran to sit down at the table with one basic understanding. We recognize that you have a right to exist in the region as a Jewish state, that we no longer desire to kill all the Jews in Israel. And if they can't say that, or they won't say that, I think it tells you all you need to know about where Iran's headed. The one thing I don't want is a phony peace.
Politically, I'm wondering what this says about the isolationists in your party who are pushing hard for Trump not to attack Iran. What do you say to them?
Well, I think President Trump made a very good decision, and most Republicans in your poll, like 75% supported his decision. I think most of us believe that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon is the right thing to say, and the actions taken by President Trump to eliminate Fort Al and help Israel with the other two sites was putting teeth into that statement. I am very proud of his decision. I think it helps us with Russia, helps us with China, but we have to be careful here. Now, being bold about knocking out their nuclear sites is something to celebrate. But now that we've achieved a ceasefire, we need to be just as bold to insist that the regime change its behavior toward Israel and the world at large. Without behavior changes, nothing's really changed. It's been set back. They've been hurt mildly. But I'm looking for, if we can get Iran to change their behavior, then President Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize on steroids. I'm hoping we can get there. I'm hoping this is a wake-up call for Iran, that they will reject their ideology that compels them to destroy the Jewish state and replace it with peace and tolerance. Time will tell.
How current is your BDA assessment? The intelligence you've got?
Don't know yet. Just from what I've heard, I think it was an overwhelmingly effective attack against the centrifuge programs. I don't know where the 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium's at. Now, they can't really turn it into a weapon unless they have centrifuges. Are there other sites that we don't know about? Maybe. But let's just celebrate the fact that this was a major step forward in reducing Iran's enrichment capability. What Israel did, what we did, I think was just incredible. But the question really is, has anything changed in terms of the regime's desires? They may not be able to make a nuclear weapon like they were before, and I don't think they can, but do they still desire one and desire to use it against Israel because they want to kill all the Jews? I don't know.
So if you can turn over the next domino, Trump obviously would like peace.
Yeah,
but
me too.
If that's not going to be possible right now, what options does he need to keep on the table?
I think we need to allow Israel to do what they need to do to not live the way they're living. Israel is tired of raising their children in bomb shelters. Bibi told me Sunday that their military objective was to degrade their launch capability, their missile program, and to eliminate their enrichment program. But their real goal is to be able to live in peace in the region and not be threatened by a fanatical regime in Iran. And until that regime changes, I think Israel will never know peace. I don't think the region will ever know peace. So what I would tell President Trump is if we negotiate with Iran and they don't reject their doctrine of trying to destroy Israel, if they can't say we recognize Israel has a right to exist, then allow Israel to do what they need to do to make sure this never happens again. One thing we can't forget is October 7th. America will never forget September the 11th. Israel will never forget October the 7th. We can't act like October the 7th didn't happen. So Israel has every right to make sure that never happens again. But I think now's the time for Israel to be able to finish the job one of two ways. Through peace negotiations that are verifiable and trustworthy, or through continued military action to reduce the regime's capability of destroying the Jewish state. If we can't get there peacefully, then we need to understand that Israel needs to have the latitude to finish the job militarily.
What do you say to folks who say that Congress should have had a vote first before this strike?
We've declared war 5 times as a body in 250 years. Almost overwhelming way of doing business in America is for the president to act, to use military force, and if Congress doesn't like it, you can try to cut off funding. But it's the decision for the president as to how to use the military. It's the decision for Congress as to whether or not to support that operation by funding. It's the decision for Congress to declare war. Because we choose not to declare war doesn't mean the president can't act. That's never been the case.
Are you getting more intelligence later today